Assalamualaikum students and Assalamualaikum teachers. This today's video is about paper 4-2 May-June 2025 exam series important questions. I've carefully gone through past examination paper and tried to decode the trend in which exam questions are set. This list is no way an alternative to the preparation of the entire syllabus. Please do prepare the entire syllabus. As you know, there is a data response question which is compulsory, and that could be from any part of the syllabus. So this list of questions will be posted on our social media pages. You can have a list, look at those lists. I will briefly explain the questions which are part of the list, and I will try my best to prepare detailed videos regarding every individual question, and we'll try to upload them on our channel in coming days and weeks. So the first topic I would like you to prepare is the indifference curve. In previous year, we predicted, and that prediction came out to be true when we said that indifference curve, they do tell us about the derivation of demand curve for various types of goods. And since the demand curve for normal goods could be more price elastic than the demand curve for inferior goods, so there was a question about that. This year too, I'm predicting or I'm expecting a similar question. How do indifference curve and budget line be used to drive the demand curve for normal goods, inferior goods, and given goods, and what is the difference in their price elasticity demand? The other question I would like you to prepare is about monopoly and large size businesses. If I tell you in one sentence, the question I am expecting is monopoly always undesirable? Should monopolies always be discouraged? Should a large size business always be discouraged? Should a merger, collusion be discouraged? So benefits of a large size business, drawbacks of a large size business, that is the area I want you to prepare for the upcoming exam. The large size business, the monopoly, they exploit consumers, they charge them high prices, they restrict output, they reduce consumer surplus, they raise profits, they impose entry barriers, they deprive consumer choices, they create deadweight laws, they create monopoly power and strong bargaining power and win many gains from the governments. They exploit their workers, they exploit their suppliers, they ensure that competitors cannot survive. They use anti-competitive pricing strategies. All these are the drawbacks, but there are some benefits. They get economies of scale. They could be charging or experiencing low per unit cost that may allow them to charge low prices. They may be more competitive internationally. Large size businesses can get more export revenue. They are provider of employment opportunities. They give huge tax revenues to the government. So these are the benefits. And of course, dynamic efficiency. They can invest. They have more profits. They can invest in research and development, in product innovation, in product development, and they can become more efficient in the long run. That is dynamic efficiency. And of course, in the drawbacks, you may mention they are allocatively and productively inefficient. So this is the area I want you to prepare. Benefits and drawbacks of monopoly, large size businesses, collusion, mergers. The third area I want you to prepare is about the factor market. If you pick one topic for microeconomics for paper 4-2, that will be my pick, factor market, because a question hasn't been asked from this particular segment of the syllabus. And I'm pretty confident that a question in June 2025 is going to be from this topic. So, imperfect labor market. Do they always pay low wages? Do they always create less employment opportunities? But if the trade union comes, does it always raise the wage? Does it always reduce employment? Or it may raise wage as well as employment. So I will prepare a detailed video on this topic in my incoming days. For the moment, I'm giving the list of questions which you can find in our comment section and also on other social media pages. Factor market, you need to prepare. Market failure. There has been a question from this topic in almost every exam paper. And even in this exam paper, I cannot overemphasize the importance of this topic. This topic is a favorite topic of the examiners. So do prepare that and pay particular attention to subsidies and education. That's the topic I've chosen. And the question I've included is from May-June 2023 exam paper, variant 4.1, and it's question 2. The question you can find in the list of important questions. Equality and efficiency. So there have been questions about equality, about efficiency. There have been questions. It's an important area, but there has been hardly a question in asset section about equality. So the question I've prepared myself is not from a past paper. It's a question that I prepared myself, and that question is available in the list of important questions. And that question says, discuss the extent to which a government should prefer equitable distribution of income over efficient allocation of economic resources. Should a government prefer equity or should it prefer efficiency? Please do study this topic, do some research, and I will also try to prepare a video. So now we move to the macroeconomic section. So in macroeconomic section, I will say the two topics which are important: fiscal policy and the current account deficit problem. It is same for paper 2 as well. These topics, fiscal policy and the impact of that on current account deficit, is a very important topic, and I've included some questions in the list. And if you ask me the single most important topic for macro section, for micro I've said factor market. For macro, I'll say it is the comparison of expenditure switching and expenditure reducing strategies to overcome a current account deficit. There has been a question about expenditure switching separately. There has been a question about expenditure reducing strategies separately. And this time, I'm expecting that both policies could be together in one question. Now, this question from February-March 2023, variant 4.2, expenditure reducing policies will reduce a BOP deficit but will also cause significant unemployment. Evaluate. This is expenditure reducing. And in May-June 2023, variant 4.1, question 4, an increase in government budget surplus, it is contractionary fiscal policy, will increase unemployment in the short run, but will make it easier to control balance of payment deficit in the current account in the long run. Evaluate. So this is expenditure reducing. Surplus budget is expenditure reducing. I would like you to prepare expenditure switching and expenditure reducing strategies, their effectiveness for reducing current account deficit. The tools of expenditure reducing: low government spending, high income taxes. Never write taxes. Always mention which type of taxes you are talking about, direct or indirect taxes, because the impact of direct tax and the impact of indirect tax are totally different. Do not just write taxes. So expenditure reducing strategies, tools: low government spending, high taxes, a budget surplus, high interest rates, a monetary tool, low money supply, and then the impact of those on demand for goods and services, not only on domestic demand, not only on the demand for locally made goods and services, demand for imports. High interest rate, people will borrow less as the cost of borrowing will go up. They will spend less, particularly on imports, which are expensive and non-essential. So you need to link it with import. So expenditure reducing strategies: benefit, they reduce inflation; drawback, they raise unemployment. Expenditure switching, on the other hand, two tools: devaluation of currency, import barriers. They make export cheaper, prompts consumer to switch from import to the local goods. Benefit, they create demand for local goods. They create economic growth. They help reduce unemployment. But the drawback, inflation. Please do prepare this topic. And of course, another drawback of expenditure switching is retaliation, as you are seeing today in everyday's news. America is imposing tariffs. China is also imposing tariffs. America is again imposing tariffs. Trade wars. So expenditure switching strategies may lead to trade wars. You can mention it in the evaluation. This is the most important area for macro. So if you prepare two topics only, factor market for micro and expenditure switching and expenditure reducing strategies for macro, that will be my pick. Another area that is not asked in a past examination paper, and that is Phillips curve. Discuss the extent to which Phillips curve is relevant today to guide macroeconomic policies. There is a very huge criticism on Phillips curve and its discoveries, in its assertions. So there could be a question on this topic. Is Phillips curve relevant today? Do conduct some research. You can find some useful videos on YouTube. And I'll also try to prepare a lecture on this topic. Living standards, a very famous topic, and questions have been asked about this again and again. Globalization, anti-globalization, there are questions. MNCs, FDI, what is the impact of that on living standards? The question I have prepared, or I am predicting, including the part of my list of important questions, and those questions haven't been asked in the past examination paper, discuss the impacts of aging population on living standards in high-income countries. People are becoming older. The dependence of people on government's welfare payments is rising. There are very few people who are capable of earning, and there are more people who are dependent on the government. That is the consequence of aging population. But at the same time, aging population is more experienced, probably more educated, probably may have more savings to spend. So what are the challenges and what are the opportunities of aging population for high-income countries? And of course, the impact of migration, labor moving from one country to another, labor shortages, labor surplus, high wages, low wages, the impact. So from low-income countries, people move to high-income countries for better prospects. Wages in the high-income countries go down, cost of production goes down, their goods may become more productive. So the impact, but there will be brain drain from low-income countries. There could be cultural issues and so many other problems. So you need to prepare that. So free trade, we have seen, the world has seen, everyone was favoring free trade, and now free trade is under serious threat. The trade war you are seeing, and I've just mentioned it. So what are the reasons? Why do high-income countries impose trade barriers? That's the area you need to prepare. There is a question for that in the list of important questions. What are the reasons? Is there a justification for restricting trade? And another question which I would like you to prepare is extraction of natural resources and the impact of that on living standards of people in low-income countries. Just 2 days ago, there was a conference in Pakistan, how to tap the natural resources of Pakistan. We have been told that there are trillions of dollars, there are deposits and minerals and rare minerals which are very, very scarce in the world. We have them, and the worth of those deposits is in trillions of dollars. So there was a conference. How can we attract investment and technology to extract those minerals? What will be the impact of those on the living standards? This is the area I want you to prepare. So please stay tuned. Do subscribe to our channel. We'll try to upload detailed videos regarding each individual question. Thank you very much, and best wishes for your exam.